I figured now is as good a time as any to give my farewell remarks. And having had the opportunity to say my thank yous or my public thank yous on Tuesday, I thought I would spend some time thinking about what was really left to say in my farewell speech. And in trying to be concise, Representative Jenny, I decided it was easier to decide what I was not going to say. First, I'm not going to stand before you and list the policy achievements of the last 2 years. While I am incredibly proud of what has been accomplished, those achievements are not mine. Those achievements belong to everyone in this room and the staff who worked so hard to turn those ideas into laws, and those achievements belong to you. And I decided I wasn't going to stand before you in an attempt to define my own legacy, because while I hope you will think very well of our time together, I am comfortable allowing my actions and my decisions and my conduct to speak for themselves. And I'm also not going to stand before you to advise you on the proper role of a state representative or the obligations of the Florida House, because my tenure as Speaker has come to an end. And questions of how this chamber should be governed and what standard of conduct you should expect from yourselves are questions that I leave gladly to you and your very, very capable future leaders to sort through together. And I'm certainly not going to stand before you and opine on the future, because when I was first elected to office, the biggest problem of our first session seemed to be how we were going to spend an extra $3 billion in unanticipated revenue. And when I won my speaker's race back in 2005, I had no idea what lay ahead, and that's probably a good thing. I didn't foresee our state's economy in the grip of a Great Recession, or our Florida House traumatized by a crisis in leadership, or a Republican Party victimized by a corrupt chairman, or a redistricting process complicated by 2 new undefined constitutional amendments, or a budget devastated by a loss after loss after loss of more than 1/4 of our general revenue. And during one of those crises, a member asked me if I felt like I came up short in the speaker lottery. Did I feel like it had more than my share of problems? More than 99, Representative Williams. And didn't I wish that I had run for the House earlier or waited longer to be Speaker? And the problem with those questions is that they're based on an assumption that we are better off if we can avoid tough situations and sidestep difficulties. And they fail to grasp that it is those very challenges and difficulties that define us. And so I'd like to leave you with one simple truth, among many, that I've learned during my years here. And I've learned it in some of the hardest ways imaginable. But it's this: do not be afraid. Don't be afraid of failure or of success. But do be afraid of succeeding at the things in this process or in life that don't really matter. If you file a bill to solve a problem, then have the courage to solve that problem, rather than back away so the real solution to the problem won't jeopardize your bill. It is better to fight and lose than to shrink from a worthy fight. Don't be afraid to change. Challenge yourself to be better, and be willing, gladly, to be wrong. Find allies, members who are smarter than you, and don't be afraid to challenge enemies who appear stronger than you. And then, when it happens, be honest enough to say it when your allies are wrong and your enemies are right, because that happens too. Don't be afraid to give people second chances when they make mistakes, because one day you'll need that too. I have. Because the hard things in this process are really the only ones worth doing. And please don't let fear of controversy or anxiety about re-election keep you from attacking the status quo. If you go through your entire time in the legislature without upsetting an editorial board or two or making people angry, then you need to question whether your time here was well spent. And lastly, don't be afraid of the future. Because for me, what was once my future is now my past. And as I look back on my time and reflect on those questions I was asked, the answer is very, very clear. Standing here today, having had the honor, the privilege to serve in the Florida House during such interesting and invigorating times. I feel I'm the luckiest man alive. And in a weird way, I did win the speaker lottery. I don't know what the future will bring for me or for you. But please know that I wish each and every one of you all the best as you set out on the next leg of your journey. And I hope, my sincerest hope, is that you will find challenges worthy of you. And when you do, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fight. And whatever else you do, never, never, never give up. Thank you very much, and I love you all. We're now going to stand.